Isreal Adesanya is the latest fighter to come in defense of Francis Ngannou after he made that shocking departure from the UFC. Now, the last style bender, as he is popularly known, shared 4 photos of himself alongside with Ngannou and Kamaru Usman ahead of that 281 UFC bout. Now, the #1 ranked middleweight champion captured that photo, saying, "Let's support him. Let's support the fight," which he believes in. He says, "History favors the bold. Make sure his history gets told. As for us, this will age well because black don't crack." Adesanya is similarly showing support for the former UFC heavyweight champion decision to leave the promotion, while, of course, UFC President Dana White, he made it seem as if Ngannou was targeting a significant pay rise. The MMA free agent denied that one on recent appearance on the MMAR, so he claimed that the real reason for the departure was the UFC would not meet any of his demands, which included the right to sign sponsorship deal, health insurance, and an advocate to represent fighters in the board meeting. Ngannou added that he would not be free under the terms of a new contract. Now, to join us in this conversation will be MMA commentator Kyle Dimond, all the way from England. Thank you so much, Kyle, for joining us on the show today. All right, let's get into it, straight into it. Ngannou leaving the UFC after one title defense. Fans have been reacting on social media saying that he could have accepted a 3-fight deal, tried to even beat Jones, at least become famous, and then leave for boxing. But the question here, Kyle, is if Francis Ngannou beats Jones, who else is there for him to fight in the UFC?
Well, he spoke actually on his appearance on the MMA Hour about how he wanted to sign a 3-fight deal, fight John Jones twice, and then fight Stipe Miocic, who he's fought twice in the past again, which they would be the biggest options. There is other options as well. There's England's Tom Aspinall, there's Curtis Blades. So there was plenty of options there, I think, if he did want to stay. Some interesting fights to be had.
All right, it's too bad that the UFC is losing too many of their main fighters. I mean, the fighters are the main assets for the UFC, and a lot feel that they must have to pay them well, pay them what they're valued. How do you think UFC should not be all about the profits, but make fighters' welfare priority?
Yeah, I think so. I hope that something eventually happens because of this. I would say that in Francis's case, I don't know how much the money was the key thing. I think he wanted his freedom to be able to do whatever he wanted more than anything else. But it is a really big issue that is really coming to light in MMA as of late. And I do expect that things will change in the coming years, and hopefully Francis leaving the UFC will help prompt that.
Okay, we are hoping that it helps prompt that, especially for the president of the side, Dana White. Let's move away from this right now. Take you to that trilogy that's about to happen for Leon Edwards and Kamaru Usman. They are set for the UFC 286. Dana White announced this on Saturday. In 8 weeks, we'll see the undisputed fighters. They will be going to war with each other. Kyle, what kind of fireworks do we expect from this bout come the UFC 286? What kind of fireworks do we expect from this bout?
Well, you know for a fact that Leon Edwards is going to get a hero's welcome fighting in London, England. But of course, we expect Kamaru Usman to come back and be even better than he was before. So I would expect this one to be the best fight of the 3. The previous 2 meetings between them were very cagey and very close at points. But I expect this 3rd fight to be, like I said, the best of all 3. So it's going to be a great night in London.
Okay, do we see Kamaru Usman having to revenge here? Because we know the knockout for the last bout, and that deprived him of the belt. So do we see a comeback for Kamaru Usman?
I can't see a way that Kamaru Usman doesn't come back and doesn't look the same as he did before, if not better. It's interesting to see how he'll come back from a tough knockout loss like that, because we haven't seen him have to do it in the UFC before. But I would expect him to come back and try and win that belt back and re-establish himself as the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world.
All right, thank you so much, Cal. That's what we've got for you today. We expect you back once we have that bout, March 18. Thank you so much, and do have a lovely day.
Thank you.